Okay, welcome back to my channel, Saints, and this is part 2 of the Exodus. And we left off where Moses slays an Egyptian. On one occasion, after Moses had grown up, when he visited his kinsmen and witnessed their forced labor, he saw an Egyptian striking a Hebrew, one of his own kinsmen. Looking about and seeing no one, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. The next day he went out again, and now 2 Hebrews were fighting. So he asked the culprit, "Why are you striking your fellow Hebrew?" But he replied, "Who has appointed you ruler and judge over us? Are you thinking about killing me as you killed the Egyptian?" Then Moses became afraid and thought, "The affairs must certainly be known." Moses flies to Madian. Pharaoh too heard of the affair and sought to put him to death. But Moses fled from him and stayed in the land of Midian. As he was seated there by a well, 7 daughters of a priest of Midian came to draw water, and filling the trough to water their father's flock. But some shepherds came and drove them away. Then Moses got up and defeated them and watered their flock. When they returned to their father Raguel, he said to them, "How is it you have returned so soon today?" They answered, "An Egyptian saved us from the interference of the shepherds. He even drew water for us and watered the flock." "Where is that man?" he asked his daughters. "Why did you leave him there? Invite him to have something to eat." Moses agreed to live with him, and the men gave him his daughter Sephora in marriage. She bore him a son whom he named Gershom, for he said, "I am a stranger in a foreign land." God hears the Israelites groaning. A long time passed, during which the king of Egypt died. Still the Israelites groaned and cried out because of their slavery. As their cry for release went up to God, he heard their groanings, and as mindful of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he saw the Israelites and knew. The burning bush. Meanwhile, Moses, tending the flock of his father-in-law Jethro, the priest of Midian, leading the flock across the desert. There an angel of the Lord appeared to him in fire flaming out of a bush. As he looked on, he was surprised to see that the bush, brought on fire, was not consumed. So Moses decided, "I must go over to look at this remarkable sight and see why the bush is not burned." When the Lord saw him coming over to look at it more closely, God called out to him from the bush, "Moses, Moses." He answered, "Here I am." God said, "Come no nearer. Remove the sandals from your feet, for the place where you stand is holy ground. I am the God of your father," he continued, "the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob." Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look at God. But the Lord said, "I have witnessed the affliction of my people in Egypt, and have heard their cry. of complaint against their slave-driven drivers. So I know well what they are suffering. Therefore I have come down to rescue them from the hands of the Egyptians, and lead them out of that land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the country of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. So indeed the cry of Israel has reached me, and I have truly noted that the Egyptians are oppressing them. Come now, I will send you to Pharaoh to lead my people, the Israelis, out of Egypt. But Moses said to God, Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and lead the Israelis out of Egypt? He answered, I will be with you, and this shall be your proof that it is I who have sent you. When you bring my people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this very mountain. But said Moses to God, When I go to the Israelis and say to them, The God of your father has sent me to you, if they ask me, What is his name? What am I going to tell them? God replied, I am who am. Then he added, This is what you should tell the Israelites. I am, sent me to you. God spoke further to Moses, Thus shall you say to the Israelites, The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever. This is my title for all generations. Go and assemble the elders of the Israelites and tell them, The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, has appeared to me and said, I am concerned about you and about the way you are being treated in Egypt. So I have decided to lead you up out of the misery of Egypt into the land of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, a land flowing with milk and honey. Thus they will heed your message. Then you and the elders of Israel shall go to the king of Egypt and say to him, The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has sent us word. Permit us then go a 3-day journey in the desert, that we may offer sacrifice to the Lord our God. Yet I know that the king of Egypt will not allow you to go unless he is forced. I will stretch out my hand, therefore, and smite Egypt by doing all kinds of wondrous deeds there. After that he will send you away. I will even make the Egyptians so well disposed towards this people that when you leave you will not go empty-handed. Every woman shall ask her neighbor and her house guest for silver and gold articles, and for clothing to put on your sons and daughters. Thus you will despoil the Egyptians. Wow. Chapter 4. Confirmation of Moses' mission. But objected Moses, Suppose they will not believe me, nor listen to my plea, for they may say, The Lord did not appear to you. The Lord therefore asked him, What is that in your hand? A staff, he answered. The Lord then said, Throw it on the ground. When he threw it on the ground, it was changed into a serpent, and Moses shed away from it. Now put on your hand, the Lord said to him, and take hold of its tail. So he put out his hand and laid hold of it, and it became a staff in his hand. This will take place so that they may believe, he continued, that the Lord, the God of their father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, did appear to you. One moment, let me just check what's going on here with my recorder. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to stop right there, saints, and I will continue on part 3. But I just wanted to read this again, where it says that I will even make the Egyptians well disposed towards this. Every woman shall ask her neighbor and her house guest for silver and gold articles, and for clothing to put on your sons and daughters. Thus you will despoil the Egyptians. Wow, I think we should really pay attention to that, because I think we're in that time point where we have to take advantage of these things, these metals, so that we can go off to the desert, and we'll read a little bit more about that. But let's go ahead and pray 3 Hail Marys, and then I'll see you in part 3. Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Jesus. Santa Maria, Madre Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Amen. Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Jesus. Santa Maria, Madre Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Amen. Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Jesus. Santa Maria, Madre Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Amen. May God bless you, saints. May you have a very pleasant day, and I'll see you next time. Viva Cristo Rey.